Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Hello everyone, welcome to Primetime Local News. We have a really exciting show for you. Actually, we have a very exciting announcement for tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
Dan Davidson will be making his world premiere of his music video for Cinderella right here on Primetime Local News. So join us tomorrow. It's a very exciting show.
Exciting.
Yeah, really.
It's
And
gonna
we
be good.
had a sneak peek and it's
We may or may have seen a little bit of
yeah,
it.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And today, our question of the day is, should restaurants be allowed to charge for water? There was a bit of a scandal in a restaurant in Edmonton where they charged $3.50 for hot water and lemons.
Right,
So
yeah.
you were saying in Europe, this is customary.
It's a normal thing, yeah. So I guess it's, well, in Europe, where I've been, it's just automatic. So you kind of have to ask for tap water, because tap water they don't charge with, but if you just ask for water, they'll bring you the bottle and then they charge you for it.
Yeah.
So I think I've just been more aware of that since I've been there. But here it's not normally a
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
So, yeah.
So we're getting some really good comments, and we'll get into those a little bit later in the show, but you still have time to weigh in on our Facebook or our Twitter page, so make sure you do weigh in there. But right now we're going to go check in with our Brittany Matika, who's taking in the Harvest Festival.
I'm here at the Harvest Festival, and the doors have just opened. People are going to start filing in shortly. There's a bunch of different samples that are on offer of products that were locally grown in our community and the surrounding area. So tickets are $25 tonight, and there are still some available if you are interested in coming down and taking a few samples in. As well, it's being paired with a variety of different beer products. So that's happening all here at the Lloyd X. So come down if you want to get involved, or stay tuned for more coming up later on in the show. But right now we're going to head back over to the studio and check in with Elise to find out what's going on in local news.
And a local student is doing what she can to keep Winston Churchill School clean. Elomima decided that she wanted to start an organic waste program, and she approached her teacher about the idea and got to work.
I come home one day after school and I was telling my mom how I had an orange peel at recess and I had just wanted to throw it on the ground, but we're not supposed to. And so then I thought, I wish we had a composting program at our school. And my mom said that I could start one.
And that's exactly what she did. She put together a proposal and presented it in front of the whole school.
We have kind of like a crew that comes and picks up the buckets and empties them out front, and then we rinse them out and then return them to the classes.
Elioma is proud she was able to start this program at her school, and she plans to continue with it. And with the colder weather and the holiday season fast approaching, local charities are accepting food donations. Midway Distributors is partnering with the Olive Tree to help them collect more food donations.
We're going to use the Olive Tree, and they support 29 different charities around Lloydminster. Midway Distributors is donating an extra $500 out of their pocket just to help. It's just good for the community.
Items can be dropped off at Midway Distributor on 67th Ave. And Facebook says it's now ready to help you connect with more than just friends. If you're single and ready to mingle, the social media platform is now playing matchmaker and has chosen Canada to try out its new dating feature. Users will have to opt in and create a dating profile separate from your main one. And in light of recent data breaches, some privacy experts are concerned with the amount of info users will have to share. And now we're going to send it back to Brittany, who is at the Harvest Festival today.
Kelly and Catlin join me now. We're here at the Lloyd exhibition, and people are starting to come in the doors. So share with our viewers at home, why did we start the Harvest Festival?
Well, one of the things a number of years ago, this is our 8th event, hard to believe that, but we had been to other places and seen that communities were having events that really supported their local producers, and we thought this was a great place to do it with the X and all the agriculture producers we have in this area. So that was the idea for the first one 8 years ago.
And now, Catlin, what's different this year?
Okay, so this year we have a new aspect. We've got the beer sampling. One of our sponsors came to the table with their kind of different type beers, and with every single dish that was prepared, we had their sommelier professionally pair it. So you're getting that kind of taste matching that we've never had before.
And now what kinds of things can people come out and sample and taste tonight? You want to give it a try, Kelly?
Sure, yeah, I think I can do it. We have beef empanadas, we have bison sliders, we have lamb skewers with tzatziki sauce, we have pelmeni, beef and pork pelmeni, which is a Russian pierogi. We also have a great soup, 2 different kinds of soup. One of them is borscht, one of them is a beer pumpkin soup. We have 2 kinds of salad. One is a cabbage apple and the other is a quinoa. Then we also have Lim with her fabulous sushi. So one of the options for that is, of course, local vegetables and smoked turkey. Then we have a fabulous dessert station with berries and waffles that our chef Rob made and ice cream. I think I got them all. Did I?
Well done. Excellent job there, ladies. That's impressive. Great memory. So tickets are still available. You can purchase them at the door if you are interested in coming down. The event runs until 8 p.m. tonight, and everyone's welcome to come on down. Family-friendly environment and try some of our locally produced food that was grown and raised here in the surrounding area. But right now, we're going to have to head back over to the studio and check in with Michaela to find out what's going on in the rest of this week's forecast.
All right, thank you so much, Brittany. Sounds like a delicious event. Currently sitting at -15, so good weather to head out to the Lloyd X and stay warm with some good food. We were seeing some flurry activity throughout the day, but it has dissipated. So just mainly cloud cover, a couple patches of precipitation down south here, and we are going to start to see some snow tomorrow. No watches and warnings currently in effect for our area, but as we move out west, all of this purple area is some freezing rain warnings, and this could come into play for us tomorrow evening. As we look to our current temperature, so -15 here in the border city, feeling much cooler than that once you factor in the wind chill. -10 for Edmonton, -9 in Red Deer, same number there in Rocky Mountain House. A little bit warmer at -3 in Jasper. Whitecourt sitting at -12. And then as we move into Saskatchewan, a little bit cooler there, so -17 currently in North Battleford, -14 for Saskatoon, and -14 also in Melfort. Currently North Battleford sitting at a -17 tomorrow, going to get even chillier overnight, overnight dipping down 2 more degrees to -19. And then once you factor in that wind, it is going to feel chillier. Tomorrow, -7 and some snow. This could be starting into the early afternoon, into the evening, and then carrying into Saturday. Cold Lake, -12, -16 overnight, and then same thing. So the snow should be starting tomorrow afternoon, continuing into the evening, and we could possibly see some freezing rain in some of these areas. Lloydminster, -15, currently dipping down to -18 overnight. Gonna feel very, very chilly with that wind. -6 tomorrow, and -6 is our daytime high, and -18 for the low. We are going to see that snow start to come into play. It could be some possible freezing rain tomorrow night, so if you are hitting the roads, make sure you check that. And we also have a potential risk for frostbite tomorrow, so if you do see anyone out in the cold, make sure try to get those people into some shelter. Saturday, -5 for the daytime high, -8, and then Sunday, -9 and -15. And I will have more details, including how much snow we could be seeing over the weekend, a little bit later in the show.
Switching over to your egg news now. Getting cows through the winter in good shape to calf in the spring is always a challenge, and in this week's Egg Report, Gerard Lampow gets some tips for producers facing short feed supplies.
Managing cows through the winter is a tough ask, especially when producers are looking forward to calves in the spring. When feed is tight, maintaining body score becomes even more critical. Reynold Bergen with the Beef Cattle Research Council is helping producers with their winter feeding programs.
Find out what you've got available. The second step is to test it, and the third is to work with a nutritionist to match your feeds together so that the animal requirements are met. And at the same time, that nutritionist can help you identify where there's gaps.
Covering those gaps will meet energy needs, protein, minerals, and vitamins that may need to be added, and you also need to know at what stage of winter or spring those supplements will be needed.
What are your most cost-effective supplement options that are around. When do you need to supplement? Which animals do you need to feed them to, right? So if you've got a big variation in feed quality, reserve the best quality hay for the thinner and older and younger animals that need the best groceries.
Bergen says the middle cows can get by on the usual tougher diet, but producers need to feed test, especially on byproducts and feed-grade products.
The really cool thing about cows is that they can eat just about anything and turn it into groceries. But when you're feeding something unusual, you need to make sure that they're getting the nutrients they need, but not getting anti-nutritional things that may harm feed quality or may pose a health risk to the animals, right?
That could be excessive sulfur in canola. Bergen says the cheapest feed does not make for the least expensive ration.
Just feeding the cheapest stuff can be way more costly over the long term, especially if that means that you're going to end up with thin cows, because those thin cows are going to rebreed later next year. They're probably going to have more calving difficulties first, and if they rebreed later next year or don't rebreed at all, that's going to have definite implications on your bottom line the year after next.
Gerard Lampow, Primetime Local News.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Center. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Center with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
That's your egg news. Sports is next, but first we're going to take a look at those egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
Switching over to sports now, the Lloydminster Bandits have made a major coaching change. With a 5-5-1 record, the Bandits fired head coach Ryan Early and have hired former Onion Lake Border Chiefs head coach Mike Clegg.
Sometimes you need to change the message getting from the coach to the players. For one reason or the other, wasn't being received. There was a bit of a breakdown there, and a lot of times you have to make a change to move forward. I know it's early in the season; it's only 10 games in, but if the longer that you go along this path, the deeper that hole gets.
Clegg has a rich background in the league, also coaching with the Saddle Lake Warriors and won the Allen Cup with the Border Kings. Clegg is also the uncle of LA Kings prospect Cale Clegg, and Buchanan says that was a change was needed.
I think more than anything, we're a young team still. We're learning. So with that in mind, there's a lot of teaching going on. You know, somewhat we were wondering about where that teaching was going on 10 games in, and we were concerned maybe some of that teaching wasn't happening.
Clegg's debut will come this weekend when the Bandits play the Lac La Biche Clippers and the Frog Lake T-Birds. And despite losing two of the best middle blockers in the country, the Lakeland Rustlers women's volleyball team remains elite at the position. Josh Ryan has more on how the defending champs roll to an undefeated start.
Taking over a spot that in recent history was filled by all-conference talent isn't an easy feat. However, the Rustlers have moved in a different direction rather than try to replace what was lost.
I know I have some big shoes to fill, but I'm a different style of player than the other two. They jump pretty high, and I'm just a different type of middle.
The new look in the middle is smaller but more versatile, consisting of third-year Brooklyn Bame and fourth-year Avery Maginell, who's transitioning back to her old position after playing right side in each of the squad's championship seasons.
It came back, so it's going well now. It's definitely an adjustment from playing middle in grade 12 to playing middle at a college level.
Rustlers! I had foreseen this happening last year, so she was going to all of our middle individuals last year, getting ready for this season for that potential switch. And Brooklyn's been ready to play since she came here. She's just had to wait for her time.
Bame received several opportunities to play in the past two seasons and had the benefit of two great mentors in Alyssa Grondin and Chelsea Steinley.
They sort of mentored me and showed me what I can do to help prepare myself mentally before games and then how I can use it out on the court.
For Maginell, playing a different position helped develop her all-around skills and improve technique.
Actually, I came in kind of goofy-footed, and I had to work that out in right side, so that's definitely been easier now in the middle.
Increasing consistency from the duo has allowed more leeway for the team's outside attackers offensively and has resulted in a group that feels confident in adjusting to whatever opponents throw at them this season.
I just know my role now as a starter, and I'm just trying to do the best I can for the team out there.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local Sports.